Hello students, my viewers and all my well-wishers, welcome to my channel. You've gone through my video on how to read volume 1 where I have taught you reading as a guide to prepare yourself for examination. Today I am presenting how to read volume 2, and in this you are going to improve your thinking power. Means how reading can help you to improve your thinking. So please watch my video. I hope you will like it and enjoy it, and it will definitely be beneficial for you.
Hello and welcome to Clara's Creation. Clara's Creation is presenting Reading Guide Volume 2. Let's begin with our quote. Reading is to mind as what exercise is to body. Our motto, Lead Kindly Light. My dear students, we will begin today with this motto, Lead Kindly Light. We are going to remove and expel out that darkness within us, the darkness of lack of confidence, the darkness of lack of a particular skill. Maybe we lack reading skills, maybe we lack writing skills, whatever. So, our motto will be Lead Kindly Light. And here I am presenting for you all the Reading Guide Volume 2. In my Volume 1, I had taught you how to read and prepare yourself for exams. And now in this Volume 2, I am going to teach you reading again, but your reading is going to help you to improve your thinking skills. Many times we hear our parents and teachers saying, you don't think, you don't have brains, you don't know how to think. So, here I'm going to teach you how to think while you're reading. So, this is going to help you to improve your thinking skill. With the help of our reading skills, we are going to improve our thinking. So, the very first thing, look at this picture, students, carefully. You'll see this picture in every slide of mine. And capture this picture in the camera of your mind. You can pause the video and try to capture this picture. The first thing that you need to know is when you're reading any book, as in our first volume we had seen, you have to choose a book of your choice. It could be academics, it could be storybook, it could be fiction, it could be non-fiction, it could be a periodical, it could be a magazine, it could be newspaper. So whatever you have selected yourself for reading, read the background knowledge. That is, you should have the background knowledge of it. The background knowledge is found, students, normally in the preface. If you're using a book, if it is a book, then you'll find it in the preface column. There's a first page of any book. You have a preface where you'll get the background knowledge, where the author will be speaking to you about the book. Then as you're reading the book, ask questions. So keep a pencil handy with you. Ask questions as you read the book. Ask questions. In my last class, I said I do not expect you to read the full book. If you read one page, it is sufficient for me. But now I want you to go one step further, and I want you to read one unit. So you should have the background knowledge of that unit. So means if you're preparing for your test or exams, the previous knowledge of your other lessons. Then ask question. Identify the author's purpose. Why do you think the author must have written this book? Now this is applicable in your languages. When you're studying a particular chapter in your languages, try to identify the purpose behind the story written by the author. Identify the main idea. So I repeat, the first 4 pictures we have taken of the reading skill: background knowledge, ask questions, identify the purpose, and identify the main idea. I go slow again. Read the background knowledge. You'll find the background knowledge in the preface. Ask question. As you're reading chapter 1, ask questions to yourself. So for which I said keep a pencil handy with you. Identify the author's purpose. This I said it when you're reading your books on languages. Identify. Try to think why that author must have written that story. What is the purpose behind that story? Identify the main idea. What is the main idea of that story? Moving further, second row. Recognize the sequence. Again, this is applicable for language. Recognize the sequence. What is the sequence of the story? You can even apply this point in history. Recognize the sequence. Now, if you're trying to study a particular war, recognize the sequence of war. Recognize the sequence of events. like the ancient history, then followed by the medieval history, then followed by the modern history. So this is a sequence. Recognize a cause and effect. Again, this is applicable for history. Causes of World War One. What was the effect of World War One? Causes of Battle of Panipat. What was the effect of Battle of Panipat? Recognize it. Make inferences. Come down to conclusion. What could be the conclusion of World War? What was the conclusion of Battle of Panipat? Maybe some treaty was signed. Maybe a negotiable, you know, uh, conversation between the two countries must have taken place. What was the inferences? Make predictions. Now, make predictions, you could apply this in a novel. When you're reading a novel, you can apply make predictions. You know, the next chapter, what can happen? You can just try to think on your own. What must have been the conclusion? Now we move on. The third row, summarize. After you have read that, make a summary of whatever you have read. Just try to summarize that particular unit. Just try to summarize that particular storybook, that particular article, whatever you've read from a particular periodical. This is not only for your exams, but this you are applying it at the second level. There are higher level where you'll be applying it everywhere. Like when you're having your library period and you have to read a storybook given in your library book, you can even apply over there. Distinguish between the facts and the opinion. Now, this can be applied in history. What are the facts? Gather facts and information. And sometimes you find the opinion of the different historians or the writers. So try to differentiate between them. Do not get confused. Find the facts out and the details. Find out the facts. What are the facts? Again, this is applicable in history. Find out the facts behind a particular event. Say Russian Revolution, French Revolution. Find out the facts out and then the details. Recognize it. Compare and contrast. Compare Russian Revolution with French Revolution. Compare and contrast and try to show what are the differences. Figure it out. Have you got it, students? And then I come to the last row, make connections. Try to connect. Try to connect the chapter 1 with chapter 2. What connections you are having? What connections can you make? Visualize. When you're reading a particular storybook, try to visualize that. Imagine that something is taking place before your eyes. Just close your eyes and try to imagine. Now, say for example, I want to read Russian Revolution. Try to imagine that you're living in that particular century and it's taking place now. And still, if you haven't understood, reread it. Read once, read twice, read thrice. That is, reread for clarity so that you get a clear picture of it. Last but not the least, adjust your spacing. Now, all of us are not very fast, all of us are not very clever, all of us are not intelligent. So, try to adjust your space. If you go slow, as I say, it's okay. So, try to adjust your space and do it. So apply all these points that are given here. In total, we are having how many images? First row 4 image, second row 4 image, third row 4 image, and fourth row. So total 16 images. That means 16 points I have discussed with you. Try to apply this. I said it earlier, this will help you to improve your thinking capacity. So wear on your thinking cap and apply all these points or these views that I have shared with you. Hope it is beneficial for you. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant day.